Folks, welcome back. I have your latest home prices and insights for York Region, for Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham for week ending May the 4th, 2022. Wait till we get into the pricing. Lots to talk about there. But let me tell you about things that are changing in our marketplace. We talk about strategy all the time, buying strategies and selling strategies. And there's one strategy that we couldn't use that's now coming back into play. Well, if you're thinking of selling and you're coming up with the price, well, looking at sold properties, for sure that's an important factor in coming up with what your home might sell for. But so is looking at the competition. And a while back, going back to January and February this year, many times there was no competition. You were the only home for blocks and blocks and blocks, and buyers had no choice. You're the only game in town. They're going to look at your house, and that's it. But that's all changed now. There are other properties. In most neighborhoods, there are several properties for sale. And as a seller or as a listing agent, we shouldn't be naive thinking that buyers are only going to look at our house. They're going to look at your house plus all the other homes for sale in that area that are going to be in competition. So as an important strategy is actually getting to know your competition. It surprises me how many times I'll tell the seller when we're in the process of talking about pricing and coming up with prices, I'll say, let's go visit the 2 other properties for sale in your neighborhood. And they're surprised and they'll say, can we do that? Of course we can. We want to go through the houses. Looking at photos online, that's one thing. It'll give you a pretty good idea. But you'll be surprised when you're actually walking through these houses. You're going to see things that you would never know by photos. Sometimes a room will look really big in the photo and you show up, it's actually quite small. Or smells. You go into the basement and you could smell humidity and there's maybe some sort of water issue going on. There's all sorts of things that'll happen when you're physically walking through a house. And buyers are going to be doing that. They're going to be walking through and they're going to see and feel and smell differences. Sometimes just standing in the backyard, you could see a big building in the back that you couldn't see in the photo because the photos, let's face it, it's marketing and we could choose which photos we show online. When you're physically in a house, you're going to see the real house. So when you're coming up with pricing, a vital, important strategy is to physically visit your competition. Once those homes get sold, you can't visit them anymore. So go see the property. You as the seller should be insisting on that. Listing agents should be doing that. If you feel this can help somebody you know, please pass the video along. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video, in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way, I'll know ahead of time and I'll organize my schedule so we could talk to you about whatever's on your mind. And if you're looking for a detached property in East Woodbridge, stay tuned to the end of the video. Okay, let's get into the numbers. I've got here York Region. I'm going to start off with Vaughan, then Richmond Hill and Markham, detached properties only. There's a lot to talk about here. So, Vaughan, detached properties, have a whole year here broken down by week. We sold 29 detached properties for week ending May the 4th. That's it, 29. Where'd all the buyers go? I don't know. 29 detached properties, 6 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price is way down there at $1,745,000. That's coming way back to like September, October, August. It's like coming way back to here. It's like 6 months ago is the last time we saw prices like that. And it went up quickly. Well, prices went up quickly and now they're coming down very fast. Compared to last year, we are 15% below last year's average sold price. But there's a caveat here. I do have to say last year's average sold price, you know, we were sitting here at 1.8, then 1.6, and it shot up to over 2 million. That's because last year at this time, so I got my cheat sheets, there were two properties included in this sale, one for 11 million and one for 17 million. So that price shot way up, but it looking like we're 15% below last year's average sold price. Let's focus more on the median. Well, median price is 2% lower than it was a year ago, and median price has gone from 2,180,000 down to 1,605,000. So median price is like, whoa, way down when it comes to Vaughan detached prices. Of the 29 that sold, about half sold at list price or more. So there's lots of room to negotiate out there right now. And year to date, we're almost a third less sales this year than what we were doing last year at this time. So 32% less sales this year. Listings up slightly from last year, but up slightly from last week. We listed 99 detached properties in Vaughan last week. Listings year to date are 16% less sales. So when we look at the active listings being 279, that's up here, and we look at the fact that we only sold 29, you take that, you divide them out, brings us to months of inventory of 2.2 months of inventory. When we go back to February here, we're at 0.4, 0.5, big difference at 2.2 months of inventory. Let's look at Richmond Hill. We sold 21 detached properties in Richmond Hill. That's it, only 21 detached properties. 5 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price climbed a bit from last week. It's now at $1,998,000, which takes us kind of back to September, October, because after that we were many weeks, most of the weeks we were over 2 million bucks. Compared to last year, 1,998,000 is 6% higher than last year's average sold price, and median price is 6% also higher than last year's median price. So no matter how you slice it, average sold price, median price, 6% higher year over year. Sales year to date are 32% lower than last year's sales. You can see it here. I mean, the blue are last year's, the orange is this year, big difference. 62% of those 21 sold at list price or more. Listings are up from last week, but year to date, they're down by 16%, and months of inventory is sitting at 2.8 months of inventory. Used to be 0.7 or 1 month of inventory. It's now 2.8 months of inventory. Big change. Let's look at Markham. We sold 21 detached properties in Markham. That's it. There's not a lot of sales going on. 21 detached properties. Average sold price is $1,693,000. That takes us way back to, I'm just going along here, to like August somewhere when we were the last time in kind of that price range. So there's a ton of appreciation that is being wiped out here. When we compare to last year, we're actually 2% lower than last year's average sold price. We haven't said that in a long time, where we're lower than last year's average sold price. Median price is actually a little bit higher than the average sold price. Average sold price is $1,693,000. Median price is $1,715,000, and it's 9% higher than last year's median price. Of the 21 that sold, less than half sold at list price or more. Year-to-date sales, I mean, this is a story all on its own. Year-to-date sales for Vaughan and Richmond Hill were almost a third behind what we were selling last year. For Markham, we're almost half. We're at 46% less sales this year than what we were selling last year. And listings, well, we only listed 53 last week, and listings are 25% lower than they were a year to date a year ago. Months of inventory is sitting at 2.5 months of inventory. Average days on market is 14. You can see the average sold price coming down. We used to be at 0.7 months of inventory. we're now at 2.5. Let's look at condos. What's going on here? We sold 35 condos. That's it. Sales in condos is also coming way down. 35 condos were sold. 2 of those were at list price or more. Sorry, 2 of those were at $1 million or more. And average sold price shot way up to $837,000. But I got to tell you though, just because I'll look at numbers a little bit deeper many times, well, all the time, but sometimes when things are just like completely nuts, I dig deeper to see, why? Does this even make sense? So 837, and when I looked, and I got my notes over here, yes, 2 condos were sold at $1 million or more, but one of them, of those 2, was $2.75 million, and the other one was over $2.9 million. So one of those 2.75 million, one of those 2.9 million, that's what shot the average sold price up. If we remove those really, really expensive condos out of the mix and it's just those 2, average sold price comes down to $717,000, which I'll tell you is probably a lot more realistic than 837 right now. And I know this from dealing with buyers and sellers in Vaughan condos. So average sold price has come down, although it's showing there that average sold price is way up. Compared to last year, well, we're 30% higher, but it's actually should be much less if we take what average sold price really should be. Median price is 12% higher than what it was a year ago, and all along for weeks, average sold price and median price are pretty close. This 1 week, excuse me, this 1 week here it's off, but average sold price is really close to median price, which is about $700,000. Sorry, I'm losing my voice here. Of the 35 that sold, about half sold at list price or more. And year-to-date sales for condos were 22% lower this year than last year. Listings are up a little bit over the last few weeks, and months of inventory is sitting at 2.4 months of inventory. Months of inventory is climbing. Used to be at 0.3. It's now 2.4. So it's a whole different world now than what it was back in January and February. When we see a summary of months of inventory, we're getting much closer to what we would call a balanced market. Still a seller's market, but man, it's a different type of seller's market than it was back in February. Those are the numbers. That's what's happening in York region, in Vaughan, Richmond Hill, and Markham. If we could help with anything, use the calendar below and book an appointment. Have a great day.